Hey everybody, this is Derek Sandlin. About the BFLs, I've took a couple of days here and thought about it before I just jumped onto YouTube. I don't put out a lot of videos. I would like to do more. So if you're watching, I'm going to say it again at the end. Like and subscribe, comment all you want to. Help me build my little channel. If I get a little more following going, I'll put out a lot more stuff. So anyway, about the BFLs. I've fished them for 20 years. Now, there's a lot of years I fished all of the division. There's a lot of years I didn't. I just fished the ones I chose to. I actually went to Oklahoma and fished a division one year to make a regional here at home. So I fished several. I don't know how many, probably 60, 70. I don't even, 50 to 70 in that range. I'd have to look and see. But enough to know about them and, to stay in touch with how the BFL's going. I did fish a couple this year. So I like what they've done. And here's my reasoning. Not speaking from a selfish standpoint when it's about me. Speaking as someone who's ran tournaments before. I ran some high school events here in Arkansas for about 4 or 5 years. Some of the bigger high school tournaments at the time in this area. And one thing I always had on my mind was, how do I get more people to show up? How do you increase your participation? Because you get stagnant. If you run a trail and there's 100 boats to every tournament, you're trying to figure out a way to get 150. If you run a trail that's got 40 every tournament, you're trying to figure out a way to get 50 or 60. And there's a lot of variables contributing to the way things are right now. I think the biggest one is just the way everything is so dang expensive. Fuel costs. Go try to buy some tungsten. You can't find it, and when you do, it's gotten real expensive. The whole world's expensive. So Major League Fishing, the way I see it, they sat back, they thought about it, they looked at what they had been doing, and it was really just kind of status quo, staying the same thereabout every year. They've done a few things to try to help out. They've lowered their entry fees, and I think they even lowered their membership a little bit in the last couple of years to help out a little. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really moving the needle any. So I applaud them for going to a team format, because there's a lot of team tournaments already. And a $500 entry fee that's high for a team tournament. Most are in that 2 to 3 range, most of we fish. And I'm good with a $500 entry fee, because it's just like 2 guys paying for a BFL. The way I look at it, I pay my half, my partner pays his half. It'd be just like both of us signing up to fish on the pro side or the boater side of a BFL. And what I really like is that the payouts are good. It looks like they're going to reflect the higher entry fee. I believe I saw where they're paying out 91%, which they're a business, guys. They got to make money. They got people to pay. They got staff. They got electric bills, water bills, pool trailers all over the country, fuel bills. It's a business. That's just the way the world is. They're not going to pay back 100%. They can't. They have to have some sponsor money involved, and they have to keep a little bit of it to make it go. So I'm good with it. I like it. I'll fish them. I'm looking forward to it, actually. The thing I like about it is that everybody's, fretting about it forward-facing. The co-anglers hate forward-facing. And I understand why. So, you not draw a guy one day that's flipping bushes and it won't play into effect. And you draw a guy at the next tournament that's scoping timber 60 foot deep, and you're out in la-la land all day. And you're just, he may have you around fish, but still, a lot of guys aren't comfortable with that. They don't know what to throw, where to throw, or it's not a good situation. We're in a team event. You can both stand on the front deck. You can both look at that graph, look at your live scope. Or I run Active Target 2XL, whichever one you got. Look at your Lowrance, your Garmin, your Humminbird, and fish as a team, fish together, versus the conflict that have forward-facing has caused, especially for the co-anglers. Now, I'm done with the BFLs. I like it, plan on fishing them. I'm glad the payouts reflect the entry fee. And I do like the contingency money. It may bump up boat sales a little bit. I know Phoenix is involved in it. I believe it's $7,000 or something like that. I think Skeeter's like 10. I'm sure Bass Cat's good in that 5 to 10 range. I don't know exact amount. I hadn't owned a Bass Cat in a few years and I haven't looked. I'm sure that Ranger Cup or whatever's left of Ranger Cup is big. I know Nitro's big. I saw a few guys comment that they can actually win as much or more out of their Nitro than some other brands. So you you got some options there. If you're looking at a new boat, I would definitely look at their contingency program and see what all it pays, and make sure that it pays what you're going to fish. I always do that every time I even consider buying a new boat. Hadn't bought one in about 4 or 5 years. I'm actually thinking about it now. But I do like what BFL has done. I like what Major League Fishing's done with the BFLs. Now the Toyotas, I'll be honest with you, I had planned, and I still will, if they had give me the opportunity, I'd plan to fish a division next year as a co-angler. Now, do I want to fish as a co-angler? Honestly, no. I'd rather fish out of my own boat. I feel like I'm a decent enough angler to be competitive. I've done good around the house a lot, and there's been days where I've done terrible, like a lot of people. You have your good days and your bad. But I feel like if I dedicated myself and, had the time and maybe a little funding to go along with it, I could compete with those guys in the Toyotas on a good level. Fished the Opens last year. Fished 3 of the Opens. I didn't go to the last one. I enjoyed it. It's a totally different crowd than I'm used to. I was 46 and I felt like an old guy. I was one of the very few there that had some bait casters out every tournament and didn't have 8 spinning rods on the front deck with 8 different minnows tied on it, or an urchin, or whatever was going on at that time. Really a minnow. But I'll say this about the Toyotas. If I was Major League Fishing, your options are 2. Keep the co-anglers, and probably be about what it is. And if you do that, I'll fish probably the Southwest Division as a co-angler, because I fished the last one this year at Dardanelle, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience of getting to go fishing, not having to be out there practicing all the time, not having to spend fuel money. I know you don't like hearing that as you fish on the pro side, and if from a guy that's fished the Opens on the pro side and a couple of Toyotas on the pro side in the past, I get it. You put in a lot more time and effort than those co-anglers do. I get that. But for a guy that doesn't have the time to dedicate to practice 4 or 5 days, or however many days, or a lot of time the money to do something like that $1,800 entry fee is pretty steep for a regular guy. And it has, regular job, got a kid, got a 10-year-old, and I got a newborn that's 9 days old now. So my time's going to be even more limited this coming year. I was looking forward to fishing them as a co-angler, but I'll say this. I enjoyed the experience, and if they take it away, I understand why. Because it's a business. And those Toyota Series events, every tournament they gave away a boat certificate for a new 18 or 19 foot Phoenix, probably a $40,000-ish boat, if I was guessing, 30 to 40 grand range, depending on how you rigged it. But I think their certificate, if you just sold it, it's probably worth that. I would say it's worth 30 or so, maybe a little more. It's still a great prize to win. I feel like if they do away with the co-anglers and the Toyotas, and they hold on to that boat deal where they're giving away a new Phoenix every tournament. And here's the other key, and they don't have to do this, and they probably won't, but I feel like if they rolled their entry fee back just some to that $1,000 range, maybe at $1,200, and somewhere in that ballpark, and help the guys, that want to fish them and would fish a division, but man, $1,800 and $1,000, that's a lot. That's a big difference for a lot of people. It's a big difference for me. That $800 is my travel for a tournament, more than I can travel. I can go fish. I can find a cheap place to stay, Airbnb with some friends, and not burn 1 million gallons of gas in practice, and probably easily travel a tournament on $500. And most of the time, as long as it's not way off, but inside a division, for sure on 800 easily. That's the difference maker. So that would be what I would think. Now if they leave it at 1,800, they just leave it at 1,800 or 1,750, whatever it is. But I feel like if they would roll that entry fee back to that $1,000 to $1,200 range and use that boat on the pro side, no co-anglers, giving away a boat every tournament. Now Opens doesn't offer that. Now they do offer a classic berth, but they don't offer a new boat every tournament. And if you got your entry fee down a little bit lower than the Opens, $600-800 less. I remember when they had that entry fee, that around $1,000, and they paid out a bunch of places, some great payouts. And I kind of wish they would go back to that. I think their participation would go up. It'll go up anyway. If they take the co-anglers away from the Toyotas, leave the entry fee alone, and they give that boat away every tournament to the winning pro, it's probably going to go up some. But I think it'd go up even more if they showed that they understand things are expensive and they're going to lower their entry fees a little bit, still have great payouts, and try to get more people involved, help some guys out that are just kind of on the fence because they are very expensive. So anyway, that's my 10 minutes worth of talking here. I didn't plan for it to be this long. Like I said, the Toyotas next year, if they keep the co-anglers around, I'm probably going to jump in the back seat of the Southwest Division. I've got friends doing that, and I would probably do so next year. I really enjoyed the one I got to fish this year. I made the last day cut. I got a check. I think I finished like 19th or 20th, but I really enjoyed it. BFLs, I think it'll be a good thing. I mean, I don't expect them to have 200 boats every tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if their participation really went up. My only concern is a lot of the time you're going to take two boaters that were fishing against each other, and they're going to share a boat. They're going to fish as a team. That may play into this more than they realize. Because I'll be honest with you, when I go to, I've asked a few people, and I've had a few people ask me, I want to fish with a guy that's going to be pretty serious about it when the entry fee and the payouts are that high. I don't want to just fish with someone that's show up Saturday, pay half the entry fee, and be what it be. I'd rather, we'd all rather have a partner put effort into it. Somebody to go practice as much as they can and carry their, do their part. Even if they don't find any fish, at least put forth some effort, not just leave it all on one guy. So anyway, that's me for today. Like I said in the beginning, I'm Derek Sandlin. I love fishing. I've always fished some of the MLF stuff through the years, along with some other stuff here at the house. And I like what they're trying to do. Trying to get their boat numbers up, trying to get the participation up, trying to make it more valuable for us to enter and fish. So anyways, everyone, please like and subscribe, comment, talk to me about it. Let me know how you feel. Help me get my little channel going, and I'll gladly put a lot more stuff out here. I'll probably do a giveaway if I can get to like 100 subscribers. And then if I get to 500, I'll do another one, 1,000, another one. So anyway, help me share it. Y'all have a good one. Please like, subscribe.